a happy holiday. Hello everybody, welcome to this amazing game of last year, The Nightmare. As of December 18th last year, finally released, and it's been quite a lot of fun. It's an asymmetrical horror game where 5 survivors attempt to complete objectives while evading a lethal killer. They just need to reach the escape gate before time runs out and it locks them in with the killer to their doom. Currently, last year comes with 3 different maps, 5 different survivors with unique personalities, 4 classes to choose from, 3 menacing killers with unique styles of play, and various crafting tools and traps to interact with. Today we'll be reviewing what last year has to offer, alongside providing you any tips you may need to make it through a tense game with a killer, or even assist the killer in slaughtering the scattered survivors. Before entering the game, we'll need to make a lobby. Last year is currently a peer-to-peer system which also connects you to voice chat once you join. Don't panic though, if you don't want to use voice chat, you can always go to the settings before joining a lobby and turning the disable VoIP settings to on. You'll be able to communicate via text and you can still send those messages when you need to, but otherwise you'll be muting yourself and everyone else around you. Once in lobby, you'll have the opportunity to vote for which of the 3 maps you'd like, or just let it pick randomly. You also can pick one of the 5 characters to better fit your personality, but no worries. Characters do not impact gameplay, just jokes and banters you'll hear most often. Finally, you'll also be able to vote whether or not you want to play as killer. Each player is capable of making this vote, and if no one else votes while you make the vote, you are guaranteed the role, and if nobody votes, someone will be picked randomly. Loading into the game, you'll be given the escape plan, which is the objectives of the map and the goal for the survivors. Survivors will then be given the opportunity to pick one of 4 classes to spawn as, and given a moment to begin the game before the killer joins. Each class comes with a primary tool that can be upgraded and 3 secondary tools to be crafted. The Assault class wields the pipe, which can be upgraded for additional damage used to fight the killer with melee combat. They can also craft helmets that protect from damage and killer abilities, Molotovs that set an area ablaze, and a baseball bat which deals significantly higher damage, but with a limited amount of attacks. The medic comes with the medic bag that can be upgraded with additional charges to heal others with and provide the medic themselves with constant regeneration. They may also craft useful tools such as the belt flashlight to light dark paths, pipe bombs to send killers to their doom, or even the dreaded shocker to stun the killer for a long duration. This helps set up for some nasty combos with other classes. Scout comes with a scanner that can track the killer and also blind them with a flash. This can be upgraded to increase recharge speed and blind duration. Scouts also come with a powerful arsenal of weapons, such as the smoke grenade, which prevents killers from taking action for as long as they're in the mist, adrenaline, which gives a temporary boost to stamina, and a very powerful shotgun to put pressure on the killer. Lastly, we come to the Technician, which is equipped with the toolbox that allows deployment of a turret. This toolbox also has a secondary function to block doors and grates with fortification. This fortification prevents the killer from trapping these locations or walking through them without breaking the fortification down. The turret can be upgraded for faster crafting and increased fire rate. Handy tools such as the proximity mine can help defend against a strong killer. Pain pills are crafted to grant a slow regen of life, and the flamethrower, well, it just burns the killer to the ground. Each class serves a purpose and a role, and combos in various ways with other classes. It's up to you to combine their various skills to make it work for your team. If you don't feel your class is working out for you, upon death you're able to swap classes to change playstyle or strategy if you need to cover other weaknesses. Classes also combo well together, using medics to heal assaults as the assaults fight the killer. There are several strategies to discover, and it is up to you and your team to strategize together in terms of what works against your killer. Don't fear death though, every time you're killed you will respawn in a storage room waiting for an ally to come save you. If allies are behaving immaturely over mic, there is an individual mute button. If players are also team killing or griefing, you can always vote to kick them from the group. Killers can't vote against the survivors, and survivors can't kick the killer either, but the team can remove one of their own. Killer, on the other hand, may be only one player, but they have access to 3 separate killers. These killers are not invincible and can be killed. Once defeated, the killer will respawn as a different killer of their choice. The previous killer will be available once again when the second choice dies. Strangler is an agile, long-ranged killer capable of tethering a survivor and dragging them towards him in a chokehold. If a survivor reaches low enough health threshold, they can be executed in this chokehold. Strangler also has the fastest attack, but also lowest health, making him fragile but very strong against players caught out on their own. Strangler uses low vents on the wall for his environmental instant kills. You could take advantage of his reach and grab to also push people off high locations or drop them down grates. You could even push them into traps to hold them still. You'll want to position yourself near players that are alone or target medics to remove their potential to recover. Watch out for assaults, as they'll be able to stand toe to toe and knock you out. Slasher is a very balanced killer with no additional power other than just a standard attack from his axe. He boasts a very strong attack itself and a decent amount of health. He has good speed and stamina that allow him to surprise survivors easily around corners. Slasher uses the skylights as his environmental kill. Slasher's strength comes with the ability to wear down the resources of survivors. Position yourself around corners very close to a survivor and come out sprinting. If they are not prepared, you can make some very easy kills. Wearing the survivors down and wasting their healing charges is vital, but be wary that you don't get caught out and waste too much stamina chasing in a long hallway. Try to always find an easy way out. Giant is very slow, but very powerful, with a grab that typically ends in a survivor's death. His health pool is extremely high, and the control he has can break an entire team. The only issue is just how slow he is. His stamina is also very low, and his sprinting speed is even worse, which makes it hard to travel long distances. He has an alternative tool that is a charge power that allows the giant to enter a rage, which charges forward until they run out of stamina or bump into a wall. Bumping into a survivor, however, will grant you the ability to pick them up and throw them for follow-up damage. Giant uses bare walls as his environmental kill. For Giant, you'll want to play similar to the Slasher, but you'll be trying to make grabs to throw a survivor in an area that you can finish them off. After throwing them, you'll need to follow up with some attacks to knock them down. If you don't want to waste time with an execution, you can even grab a downed survivor and throw them simply to finish them off. You can also toss survivors off high locations to separate them. Survivors will compete against the clock to complete all objectives and escape through the hatch in about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, the killer is going to try to slow down or stop them from completing this goal. Survivors will be awarded trophies for every survivor that escapes, and killer will be awarded trophies for killing everybody and completing challenges. If you're playing Survivor, you'll want to first begin by preparing yourselves with scrap. These are randomly scattered in boxes and on shelves, and you'll use them to craft and upgrade weaponry. I advise that the team typically split up in two smaller groups of 2 and 3 so you can find more scrap, as being together can lead to 1 or 2 people getting all the scrap and leaving the rest starving for more. If you do happen to bump into the killer, please understand it is not an all-out battle. Sometimes it is wise to simply run. You are faster and have more stamina, allowing you an easy escape. Speaking of stamina, this is a very limited source. Do not waste all your stamina running around looking for scrap. Instead, walk around. Conserve your stamina. If the killer spawns near you, you can sprint quickly away. Getting caught without stamina will likely result in your death. If the killer downs one of your allies and begins to execute them, there's nothing left you can do for them. The killer is invincible. Instead, flee and try to regroup and use the time given to you as a means to progress the objective, or save yourself. Don't always worry about rushing the objective either. Take your time, craft your weapons, get helmets to keep allies safe. You can craft items for everyone else as well and share them. Remember, only 1 item per person, unless it is a special equipment item, such as the helmet. Remember, the killer can only spawn and despawn when out of your line of sight. Typically, if you can see them, they can't appear or disappear. Therefore, when walking around corners or doorways, be very wary that the killer might be waiting right there. Try to stay in the middle of the area for as long as you're not in an environmental kill spot. It should give you enough time to run if the killer spawns at that corner. My final tip is to always be busy. Either be collecting scrap or complete the objective. You don't have time to hide, and if the killer is defending an objective, then all you need to do is craft a weapon to kill him. Always prepare yourselves with the tools to take out the killer at important choke points, especially the end minute. Take your time, as there is a lot to learn in this game. If you're playing as killer, you'll have a lot to learn, as it can seem difficult when the survivors are always grouped together. You'll need to do your best to try to break them up. Each killer has a specific strength, so be sure that you try to read their strategy before picking your killer. If they intend to all stay together, avoid picking the strangler, as you might find it difficult to score a kill, and instead go for giant. The usage of Predator mode is key to being a strong killer. Predator mode makes you invisible for the most part. If you're sprinting in this mode, you'll leave visible footprints behind, and walking through doors will also creak them open, alerting survivors of your location. While in Predator mode, you can sabotage scrap points, set traps, and prepare for environmental kills. Simply left-click scraps to trap them and look at the ground to place the traps. You can even trap grates or open them to cause survivors to fall through. Using these in conjunction with your killer is vital. As an example, you might want to set a trap around a corner, spawn on that trap, pull a survivor in as strangler, and then throw them on the trap. This will help trap them in even if they get saved by an ally. When engaging on survivors, you need to know your target and how you will approach them. Then you must also know your way out. Killers are not the fastest, and when it comes to defending objectives, you'll need Predator mode speed to defend every side. Do your best to experiment with angles and line of sight breaking, as every small corner can be a potential to sneak up right behind somebody. There are typically small divots that you can hide yourself in that let you spawn right next to a survivor. This gives you the best opportunity to ambush them and get a swing in. Even if you only get a few hits in, they can't always recover to full, as their medics have a limited source and speed which they can heal. Keep wearing them down and you'll eventually kill them. Pick your targets well. Survivors with helmets can be very resilient. Try to focus on medics or even scout to avoid them detecting you. Pay attention to weapons they're holding as well. Killing them will remove their upgrades and weapons, helping you avoid needless deaths. Speaking of deaths, sometimes it's wise to take an intentional one to swap killers. Make sure that you pick the right moment, because if you get caught out and they finish too much of an objective, it might not be worth it. My final tip for killers is to always think outside of the box. When the survivors have the upper hand, it only takes a single mistake for you to cause chaos and throw their team out of order. You want to break the ranks down. Be sure that they don't maintain a strong formation, and just get that one kill in. That about wraps up what last year the Nightmare and the basics to the game are. If you're interested in picking up the game, follow the link in the description to access the Discord store page. You can pick up the game currently at $30. The game is also only on Discord, but it is working its way over on Steam with cross-platform play to Discord. They're looking at approximately 90 days before reaching Steam, and there is no exact date, but last year we'll also see a release on consoles sometime in 2019. A future roadmap has planned for more maps, killer survivors, progression system, and new game-changing features, all at possibly no cost, excluding maybe some license deals that might come down in the future. Last year grants a unique experience, as you will encounter a lot of fun, silly, tense, and scary moments that keep you coming back for more. With the developers showing a lot of dedication, we can only hope to see more in the future. Thank you all for watching. I'll keep a close eye on last year, providing various guides to help anyone I can learn the game. Don't forget that this game can take some time to understand, but never give up. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, good game.